There I was making a joke about how no one cares, but this ain't that bad.
Ramen noodles, drawing doodles wasn't in my fucking vision. But whose fault is that? Trying to stay all in.
YBN Cordae, member of the YBN crew consisting of 3 members, YBN Namir, YBN Almighty J, and YBN Cordae. He's an XXL Freshman 2019. He's the hot new face right now. This motherfucker is the one to watch. He's a fresh, young voice in the rap scene, and he has a few people talking. You know, I was kind of curious to see what this was gonna be like. I saw this dude freestyle on Funk Flex, and I was like, she's got balls, bro. He can rap. He's got the skill, but does he have the ability to pull off an album that I like? Yes. Because I liked it. I'm glad I stuck with it a bit, because on first listen I just thought it was the blandest thing ever. It reminded me of that Reason album from last year. It reminded me of the Boogie album from this year. It just sounded like default rap album 12, and I was just unsure on what he was bringing that wasn't already out there. And yeah, this thing sounds like a lot of other things, particularly when he has a feature. I've noticed on this album, whenever there is a feature, the track sounds like something that you would get from that feature. The track with Anderson .Paak sounds like something straight from Ventura. The track with Chance the Rapper sounds like something straight from Coloring Book. The track with Meek Mill is like Meek Mill to a fucking T. So this thing is quite familiar sounding. It's nothing boundary pushing. But I do still think YBN Cordae is a pretty refreshing voice overall. He has this like naive kind of tone to him that sounds like someone who really started to reevaluate themselves and how they looked at things once they got a genuine true taste of life. And I just think he views things like family struggles and relationships, the hardships of fame. I think he views it through a really insightful and just relatable lens. So whilst everything on here is on a surface level very, very bland and plain, I think there is absolutely nothing on this album that is poorly executed. I think Cordae does a great job of making every word he spits on this album feel like it's very personal and from the heart. There is a genuine connection that is there to be established between the listener and Cordae. I love the way he handled the track Family Matters, which is a song all about how the closest people to you might be going through the worst shit, like abuse, adultery, and they might be suffering in debt. And this is sort of a track dedicated to how even though they may be wanting him to succeed, he wants to give back because he's aware that they're going through so much. And I actually really like the way he raps on quite a few of these cuts. I think his flow and enunciation and wit on the tracks Lost and Found and Have Mercy is really likable. That Jaden Smith bar had me giggling. I can't lie. I think he has personality. He has the same kind of humble comfort of an artist like J. Cole. Like J. Cole's music, again, it is quite bland, but I think he's always done a really good job of just coming off like a friendly, relatable, and just calming individual. The kind of person that would just alleviate any stress when they enter the room, and YBN Cordae has that same kind of effect for me. And the production, again, nothing you haven't heard at all in any stretch whatsoever, but it's, you know, it's cool. I really like Broke as Fuck. I think that's a great song right there. You know, the opening does kind of sound like a beat that Tay Keith would just have lying around on the floor. But I think YBN elevates it into something quite menacing. There's a genuine hunger to his voice that's really tangible, and the way this track really nicely segues into a really beautiful, blissful, more soulful beat at the end, I think is really great. J. Cole actually produced the track with Anderson .Paak, funnily enough, which is weird. I would never have guessed that would be something J. Cole produced. But still, that beat, funky as hell. The chemistry between Anderson .Paak and YBN Cordae is fucking great. They are literally having like a conversation in their verses going back and forth. It was really fucking cool. I like the way they approached that. And the hook from Anderson .Paak is just... Ooh. I like the tracks Thanksgiving and 1,000 Words too. 1,000 Words being about how people use social media to mask the problems they deal with, and Thanksgiving is about introducing your partner to your family at an event like Thanksgiving. And I think he just has a really refreshing and humble outlook on these things. He just sounds like someone who just wants to see the best in the world. And I think Cordae himself is absolutely the selling point of this album, which is great. You know, I hate it when an album has like stellar production, but like the artist themselves is just butchering it. But here it's just kind of the other way around. I feel like he could just go a little bit further to really make his music feel like his music. Like, he needs to feel a bit more individual. There are some songs here that I just could not fuck with, like the track with Ty Dolla $ign. His voice in that first verse sounded exactly like Amine. I swear to God, that cannot be just me. He sounds just like Amine, bro. I also found the beats on the tracks Beating Around and We Gon Make It to be a bit boring, the former of which has this little guitar pluck that just sounds kind of cheesy and thin. And the skits don't really add anything Nah, Masego was on one of them though. That's kind of funny. I'm gonna give this a 6 out of 10. I thought it was good, but I wouldn't come back to it because I feel like everything that he pulls off on this album has been pulled off before to a more fulfilling capacity, and I just don't really see myself jumping to this of all albums, you know. But I do think it is quality. I don't think anything on here is done terribly. There's nothing really hateable about this. At least not to me. I'd be surprised if someone listens to this and is just like, oh my god, this is fucking unbearable. Like, it's just very safe, you know. After sitting with this thing a few times, I found Cordae just quite a nice figurehead on this thing. So props to Cordae. I'm going to be watching out for his career. I think he's got potential. Overall, I liked it. It's just a bit nondescript. There are still tracks on this thing that I will gladly put into my playlists and come back to. But yeah, as a whole, it's just a bit too bland for me to go any higher. So there you go. Those are my thoughts on The Lost Boy by YBN Cordae. Thank you for watching my review. I'll see you on the next one. Bye!